In today's video, I'm going to be going through what I've learned in my first year of making gaming content. The highs, the lows, and all the stuff in between. On the side, I've added some times and subjects, so if you guys want to skip ahead to anything specific, you can do. It's also worth mentioning as well, if you're thinking of starting a channel or you've recently created one, the last part of this video could really help you out. With that being said, let's begin. I started my YouTube journey back in October 2022. I started the channel because I wanted to create a small community of people I could share gaming moments with, while also being able to discuss gaming topics that I was interested in. As well as that, I also wanted to learn new skills like video editing and photo editing. I'd actually been thinking about making a gaming channel for years before I actually made my first upload. But I kept putting it off because, honestly, I was scared. I'm so fucking scared right now! I was worried that someone I knew in the real world would end up seeing one of my videos, or people online would just laugh at how bad I was. But do you know how many people actually watched my first video? That's right, there's over 7 billion people on planet Earth, and only 27 of them watch my video. And if I'm being honest, at least 5 of those views were me refreshing the video each time I'd watched it. That meant I delayed the start of my YouTube channel for years due to a fear that literally didn't exist. What I learned is no one's gonna watch your first YouTube video, or realistically even your 10th for that matter. And I really want to hammer that point home. Unless you're already established on the internet, or you get amazingly lucky, no one is going to watch your first video. And the only person that really cares is you. So the first thing to learn from my journey is don't be like I was. Don't wait for the perfect time to start because it doesn't exist. And the longer you take to start, the less time you'll have to improve. And that brings me on to point number 2. So, when I first started, it's fair to say I was naive, confused, and had conflicting expectations. And chances are, you may do as well. For instance, on one hand, I was scared about people seeing my content and laughing at how bad I was, while also hoping that I'd get enough views to not be seen as a failure.
That doesn't make no sense.
Over time, I've come to realize focusing too hard on views can only end badly. Honestly, I used to upload a video and have an expectation of how many views it would get, and when it inevitably didn't hit the number that I had in my head, I would be in a bad mood all day and feel like a complete failure. Which, now looking back at, is a really stupid way to be. I found that rather than have expectations that focus around views and subs, it's a lot healthier to focus on something you do have control over. For instance, nowadays, a more realistic expectation may be to create a video that's more interesting than the last upload I put out. And my goal may be something like trying a new editing technique that I haven't put into a previous video, or make numerous thumbnails to expand my Photoshop skills. By focusing on things like this, I've not only found that I'm way happier making and releasing content, mainly because I'm focusing on something I can actually control, but most of the time by doing those things, it also means that I make considerably better content, which coincidentally then kind of comes full circle and has a knock-on effect to views and subs.
Nice.
And even if it doesn't, I can still be proud of what I've created. I've learned a new skill and achieved a goal I've set myself. That's not me saying don't pay any attention to your views or sub count, because they are important, but I just think when you first start out with content creation, that views and subs should really take a backseat. And they shouldn't be your #1 priority. Otherwise,
you're gonna have a bad time.
So, when it comes to the comment section, you're essentially going to get 3 different types of comments. Positive ones,
hateful ones,
and constructive ones. Positive ones are honestly one of the best things about making YouTube content, in my opinion. Whether they're interested in the same subject as you and they just want to talk about it, or they're just giving you a compliment, they are really powerful. I found that good comment days really motivate me, and I use them to get busy.
That's what she said.
If you have a script to record or a video idea you want to start doing, I found there's no better time to do that than after reading a positive comment. Next on the list are hateful comments. It's important to know the difference between hate and constructive comments. If someone's hating on your video because they dislike you, your opinion, or your subject choice, I found that it's best to respond in a completely vanilla and PC way. Thank them for watching the video and maybe even ask them what you think you could have done better in order to make the video more engaging. I found by doing this, they'll either ignore you, which is fine, or they'll choose to engage with you and potentially turn a hate comment into a constructive one. And lastly, that brings us to constructive criticism comments. These may not give you the same boost that a completely positive comment will, but they probably are the most helpful. It's important to reflect on criticism, evaluate it, and see if you can apply it moving forward. For example, in one of my videos, I kept using something called a horizontal flip, which looks something like this.
You're probably wondering a few things. Why was I uploading to Pornhub? What was I uploading to Pornhub? And how did I get deactivated?
Well, and I had this comment below the video saying how the overuse of horizontal flips was disorientating. And you know what? They were completely right. I learned a new technique and completely overused it. Because of that comment, I now use a horizontal flip very minimally and only when it's really needed. And in turn, this has made me a better content creator. So, in essence, what I've learned is ignore the hate, embrace criticism, and use positives as fuel. Right, so it's time to dive into 5 programs and websites I use which help me and I think potentially may be able to help you as well. Some are more tailored towards gaming content, but overall most of these can be used for any type of content creation. Also, it's worth mentioning some of these are free and some of these do cost money, but I'll explain that as we go. The first site I'm going to be talking about on this list is called Pixabay. Pixabay is an image and stock sharing website. It's completely free to sign up and offers a lot of useful things, such as photos, videos, music, sound effects, and much more. And the best part is it's royalty free, meaning you can use them without getting any copyright strikes. Next up is freesound.org. Much like Pixabay, Freesound is another file sharing website. It's free to sign up and the majority of uploads are royalty free, which again means no copyright strikes. Freesound doesn't provide any images or videos, but does have a huge library of music and sound effects to help you when creating content. Next on the list is a paid service I use, which is called the Adobe Creative Cloud Apps. This package includes Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Lightroom, and many more useful apps that'll help you create all types of content. It's a monthly subscription, which makes it more manageable than having to pay a lump sum of money up front, and allows you to cancel at any point you need to. Not only that, if you're a student, you can currently get this offer for around £16 a month, which I think is a really good price. So, this next one is focused on gaming content creators, and it's the Xbox PC Gaming app. The Xbox PC Gaming app is such an amazing platform. It's stacked with incredible games to play from small indie titles all the way up to huge AAAs. It's $9.99 a month, and it means you'll always have material to create content with. Whether you're planning on creating Let's Plays, challenge videos, or reviews, there's a massive selection to choose from. Not only that, if you're new to the app, you can always find offers for free trial periods, meaning you don't have to lock yourself down to anything before you know it's for you. That now brings us to our last mention in this section, which is the YouTube audio library. The crazy thing is, I only started using this about a month ago. And before you say it, yeah, I know I'm a bit of an idiot, but in my defense, it's fairly hard to find. To access the library, click into your YouTube Studio section, head to the left-hand side of the page, and scroll down to the bottom to access it. It's broken up into 2 sections, music and sound effects. Again, by using this, you'll avoid any issues regarding copyright strikes, and it costs you nothing. Not to mention, the quality of the recordings on there is incredibly high, and there's a massive choice, and by using the genre and mood filter, you're sure to be able to find something that'll fit your video. And those are the 5 programs and websites I find most useful in terms of content creation. Next up, I'm going to give you a condensed rundown of how I used to make videos versus how I make videos now. So, when I first started making videos, I didn't have any experience editing anything. So I decided to make it as simple as possible by creating Let's Plays. They required no scripting, no complex editing, and I hope I don't offend any Let's Players out there, but honestly, not too much thought either.
Hey, fuck you!
It was simple. I'd pick a game, press record on my PC and my camera, and away I went. And after an hour of gameplay, I'd record a short intro and outro, stick them all together, and voila. I'd made a video. Then came time to make a thumbnail and a title for the video, which, as I'll be showing on screen now, you can see I put very little effort into.
My God, that's disgusting.
What I've learned over time is that if you treat your thumbnail and your title as an afterthought,
You're gonna have a bad time.
for instance, say you make the best video you have ever created, but your thumbnail and your title suck, it's the equivalent to having a restaurant with really, really good food, but it looks like a crack shack and it's called Big Dave's Dirty Treats. No one is going to want to see what's inside. So nowadays, I create my thumbnail and title prior to recording. That doesn't mean I don't change them a little bit over time, depending on how the video turns out, but pretty much they're 90% of the way done before I've even started. By doing this, it gives me a clear vision of what I want the video to be, as well as giving me an idea if the video sounds interesting and looks clickable. As well as that, I've also started scripting videos to help me with pacing and direction, and they normally look something like this. As you can see, I choose to highlight sections with different colors. I do this so I know which shots are going to be talking head shots like this one, as opposed to a voiceover like this. And those are the main changes I've made from then until now. Feel free to try those yourself and let me know if they help. Also, if you guys want a more in-depth look of how I create a video from start to finish, let me know in the comments down below and I'll consider making a video on that. I want to say a huge thank you to anybody who's watched my videos before or who's given me any amount of their time. So that's a summary of what I've learned in a year of making YouTube gaming content. If you enjoyed this video, consider smashing the like button. If you have any questions, add them in the comment section down below. And until then, I'll see you in the next one.